everyone. Today we are going to create a self-portrait inspired by the art of Tim Burton. Tim Burton is most known for his movies. Frankenweenie, I think, is produced by Disney. Nightmare Before Christmas, The Corpse Bride. He's even involved in some other ones that we know, like the new Alice in Wonderland and the new Dumbo. But he's also an artist, and he gets a lot of his ideas for his movies by creating them as drawings first. When he creates portraits of people, he oftentimes will do things like distort the shapes of things or the sizes. So the head shape might be longer than real life or wider. The eyes might be larger than real life, and then the nose might be smaller than real life. So his portrait style is very interesting. And when we create a portrait in his style, we're calling it a Burton-esque, that means it's in his style, selfie, we're doing a self-portrait, so it's a picture of you. So you have to think about what your hair looks like. Now, you're gonna maybe change it a little, but if you have straight hair, you wanna kind of stick with straight lines, wavy hair, wavy lines, curly hair, curly lines. You might also think about things you already know about yourself. For example, I know that my face is actually pretty long already, so I might choose to do something like this. Or if you've been told you have like a heart-shaped face, you might do something more like that. Or if you've always been said you have a really round face, you might choose something like that, where it's more round than your real face, or it's more long than your real face. So when you get started, you're gonna want a pencil and a black marker. And we're gonna do the drawing in the black marker, and we're gonna use the pencil for shading. So when we start, we wanna make sure our head is bigger than our hand. And since I already said my head shape's pretty long, I'm gonna do something like this. So I want to make sure my head is bigger than my hand. I do wanna leave some room at the top and the bottom. I'm gonna do a nice kind of, take my time, nice slow oval. Okay, and then you can choose the ears from any one of these, whichever works for you. And then think about a neck and shoulders. The neck in Tim Burton style is often very skinny. It's also sometimes very long. And then I'm gonna make the curve for the collar of my shirt and my shoulders. All right, so I've got my head shape, so now I'm gonna think about my hair. My hair is long and straight. I don't have bangs in the front. So something like this, except my hair going longer, would make sense for me. So I'm gonna start by making the line kind of above my head, like that, on both sides. But I also need the hair that is on the front of my head. So I'm gonna come down and over towards my ears. And then I'm gonna add in a few more straight lines all the way back around to my neck, because my hair is across the back of my head as well. And I have really long straight hair, so I'm just gonna keep it nice and long and straight. All right, so now that I've got my hair done, I'm gonna move on to the eyes. And oftentimes the eyes are much larger than real life in a Tim Burton portrait. So I'm gonna choose an eye shape that works for me. I don't really have long eyelashes. I think I'm gonna do this one. So I'm gonna start with really big circles. Really big circles. And then I'm adding the eyelid on the top and the bottom. Oh, I need to extend that line. And then the little dot in the middle. And then some eyebrows. And if you don't want to do the eyebrow style that's with the eye, you can pick any style that works for you. All right, now that I have my eyes, I'm gonna move on to my nose. My nose is pretty round overall. I think I'm gonna do this one here. And the noses are often very small in Tim Burton portraits. All right, and then after that, I'm gonna be doing the mouth. And so for the mouth, a lot of times they're stretched out. They're a lot longer than real life. So I'm gonna do, I think, something like this. So I'm gonna come across with my line first down the middle, lines around the edge, and then the lips there. All right, so now that I have all of these parts done, I need to think about shading. And so for the shading, I am going to be using my pencil. So I can put my marker away. The first place I always like to start shading is around the eyes. Now the trick is not to use the tip of the pencil. You actually want to use the side of it. So sometimes it helps to hold it like this to use the side, or if you can kind of flatten your hand out so you're getting to the side of the pencil, but most often it helps like this. So you want to create that kind of dark shadow around the eyes. And we are going to use our finger to kind of blend the pencil in. So after you've created those shadows, we will blend a little bit more with our finger to kind of soften the edges of it. So around the eyes is one place we need to think about adding the shadow. Also around the edges of the head. Now I may not press as hard. If I press lighter, I get a lighter shadow. If I'm not pressing as hard, if I go harder, then obviously I'm going to get a darker shadow. So I'm going to go around the edges of the head, up and then under the hairline, and I always go a little darker under the hairline. So lighter, and then I go back and I darken it up right along the hairline there. I also like to do under the mouth. You can also do kind of under that top lip there, make it look a little bit more 3D. Around the nose, so it might be kind of around the sides a lot of times with the nose, like this. And that kind of ties into the eyes a little bit. You might also show some shadow underneath the nose, like that, or even the bottom of the nose, like that. And then also, you might think about under the eyebrows. So oftentimes where we see a shadow. Now, under the chin is really important, and that's going to be a really dark shadow. So I'm going to go over that really dark and then get lighter and lighter by pressing not as hard. I can add a little bit of shadow to the hair as well. My hair is actually really dark, so not only would I be doing shadow on the hair, I would also probably just be adding a lot of pencil to darken the hair up. So where I would, if your hair is not dark, you'd still want to add some of the shadow near the hair lines. But if you have really dark hair, you might just darken all of it with your pencil. Also, the bottom edges of the ears and underneath the ear would get darker because your ear would cast a shadow. Under here, it's going to be really dark towards the back of my hair, so I'm going to make that even darker. That kind of helps make it look 3D. So you want to be the darkest kind of underneath the edges of things. And then, after we've added our shadow everywhere, let me finish up my hair real quick, then we're going to use our finger and we're going to go back and we are going to blend it. So when we blend, we're using our fingerprint part of our finger, not the nail part. All right, so there we go. Okay, so this fingerprint part of my finger is what I use to blend, and I'm just going to kind of smudge up and soften up those shadows so that they're blended in a little bit better. And I want to make sure I do that all the way around the face. Anywhere I've added it, kind of just soften it up a little bit. All the way through the hair. And there you have it. A Tim Burton inspired self-portrait. All right, I hope you have fun.